The sound of enemy tank engines, getting louder and louder, coming closer to your position, is one of the most dreadful sounds you can hear on the battlefield. And it is this sound, this deep, bassy rumble, that our men on the southern flank experienced this evening. Many of the men could only watch on in horror as the enemy tanks broke through our lines. Their weapons completely ineffective against those behemoths. Many others, unable to retreat from their defensive positions, could only throw everything they had at the tanks, hoping to somehow stop them. The anti-tank capabilities of our infantry soldiers are completely inadequate, and so the 11th Company suffered horrendous losses. The situation became even more desperate when 2 enemy KV tanks showed up. Without any effort they broke through our lines and advanced towards our exposed artillery battery, ready to crush it beneath their tracks. The KV tanks would surely have succeeded in their task if it wasn't for the heroic effort of one of our flak guns. Despite being under fire by one of the tanks, the crew held their ground, shooting back shell after shell. Unfortunately, they paid for that effort with their lives. Their last shell, however, managed to disable one of the KV tanks, and the other retreated. Now the sun is setting, and we are preparing another assault on the village of Tyupchin in the north. I hope that the enemy doesn't have tanks up there too. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of the Far Escape campaign and Graviteam Tactics Mius-Front. In the previous video, we have fought a very difficult battle down here in the south, where the Soviets unexpectedly attacked me with a whole bunch of tanks, even heavy KV tanks. With the sacrifice of many of my men and also one of my 8.8 cm guns, we somehow managed to stop the tank onslaught. However, we took heavy losses, and one SS battalion that was in this area has been actually routed. I hope they will reform at some point behind the front line, but for now I don't have access to them. We will see what ramifications this will have. For now, let us end the turn together and see what the next one will bring us. Okay. Some units are digging in. Ammunition is distributed among the units. Something has been repaired. And the SS group that was routed actually reformed up here. Which is an interesting place for them to reform in. Not a good place. This is not where I want them to be. But that's where they are now, so might make the best of it. So now comes the time when I have to take a good look at my units, think of how I want to deploy them, where I want to attack, how I want to attack, and with which forces I want to do that. But there's one thing that I'll definitely want to do. This headquarters unit here. They were assigned the 2 8.8 cm guns. And I can see that one of those guns is classified as category 4 damaged. Category 4 means that vehicle or weapon is decommissioned, cannot be repaired. That gun is out of the game. Considering that down in the south we have the heavy KV tanks employed, I really want a battery of 2 guns down there. So let me see if I can exchange this unit. Because this is something that many people who are new to this game don't know. It is not intuitive how this works, but it is logical. So let me show you what I mean. Here on the map, you can middle mouse click on one unit and it brings you straight to the battle group view. Or you can simply, that's the easiest way really to go about it. Just middle click on one of the units and that brings you to it. You can also click on that symbol, this one, and it also brings you into this view. There are multiple views here, but let's first talk about this one. On this page you see all the battle groups that are available to you or that will be available to you once they arrive on the battlefield. Battle groups are, how should I call it, unit compositions. They are basically a composition, usually of infantry units and maybe a support unit. For example, we see here we have this battle group. It consists of a few infantry platoons and a machine gun platoon. It's a unit composition. The units behind this you can view in the forces list. So if we take another look at this 8.8 centimeter gun battery, let me click on that to highlight it. And now I go into the forces list. The forces list shows you all forces that are available to you, even those that are in reserve. And if we now scroll through this, we will somewhere find that 88 millimeter battery, and it should be highlighted, so I'm simply going through this really fast. There it is. That's our unit, and we can see it is part of a battle group. We can see that the second battery here is also part of a battle group. So these units are already in use. I can see that the 4th company of the anti-air regiment down here has another battery in reserve. You can see it down here. What I want to do now is to take that battery and see if I can get it into the battle group that I want to. Let's go back to the battle group view. So here we have, this is the battery of 2 guns where 1 gun is destroyed. I can now right click on this symbol here and change this to a different unit. And here we have from the 4th company the battery that still has 2 guns in it and is available. So let me select that. And now the units have been switched around. If we go back to the forces list, we now see that the unit that has one of the guns disabled is now in reserve and the other one is in a battle group. So keep that in mind. Battle groups are unit compositions that you can often enhance with some support units. For example, here I could now also bring in, by right clicking on this, I could also bring in some more units. Do I want to do that right now? No, not right now. Because when you do this, it is advisable to make sure that you select units that are in the same chain of command. That usually works best. This here is the 3rd Battalion of the 41st Motorized Infantry Regiment. If I right click on this, then I have here units from the SS Das Reich. These would be outside of the direct chain of command because they belong to a different regiment, or to a different division even. Down here we have units that belong to the same regiment, and these ones highlighted in blue are in the directly same chain of command. So it would be advisable, if I really want to reinforce this command unit with more infantry, it would be advisable to take one of these 3. I don't want to do that right now. I want to keep them in reserve so that I can use them to reinforce the battle groups that are centered around that particular company, 9th, 10th and 11th. So that was a very short explanation about battle group and the forces list. There's a lot more in the background than just the units that are visible here on the map right now. Alright. Now, I need to make some plans and I need to check the other units, so I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. I have made some adjustments, reinforced some units. There's still something that we need to do together, but before we come to that, I want to show you this down here, which I didn't go into before. At this time of day, historically, what happened? The Motorized Infantry Division, Das Reich, went on the offensive and expanded the bridgehead east of Romny, capturing Pustovitovka. The 3rd Battalion of the Motorized Infantry Regiment Deutschland captured Bobrick on the right flank of the division. So historically at this point the SS had gone on the offensive and managed to capture this village up here. That means we are lagging behind compared to the historical situation. And they captured Bobrick on the right flank of the division. I think Bobrick is somewhere down south. It's not actually here on the map. Yeah, I think so. Right, but what will we do now? I still want to pursue my original plan to advance up here in the north, to capture the village of Tyupchin here, and this very valuable key point, so that I finally start to get points from holding the key points. I really need that, otherwise it's gonna be difficult to win this campaign. So we need to capture this area. I think that the enemy units that are in this area are by now very depleted, but unfortunately my units also took quite a beating, especially the 7th company here. It only consists of 13 men at the moment. Everyone else is gone. This battle group is basically defeated. And now I have a choice to make. Do I keep this battle group around and try to rebuild it? Or do I disband it? Because that's something that you can do. Let me show you. I could now right click on this symbol here and right click on this here to disband the battle group. That would mean that this battle group is removed from the map. I wouldn't be able to reform it anymore, to re-establish it. It's just gone. The units that are still alive inside that battle group would be moved to the reserve. Do I want to do that and deprive myself of the use of this unit on the field? Or do I want to attempt to rebuild it? If we try to rebuild it, I could take the 3rd platoon here from the 7th company. That would be very fitting. As the 1st infantry unit. As the 2nd infantry unit, I thought about this already a little bit, I could take the engineer platoon from the headquarters company. That would give me 3 squads of pioneers, which are quite heavily armed and very suited for close range fighting, for example in an urban terrain. And then, as support, I could simply give them a mortar section. Or machine guns. That's up to me. Maybe even infantry guns. That actually would be... That would turn them into quite the heavy hitting unit. If I give them infantry guns. You know what? Let's do it. Let's rebuild it. The commander is still alive. He has some anti-tank rifles with him. 1 squad of those. So let's actually rebuild this. Let's select the 3rd platoon of the 7th company as the backbone, so to speak. Then let's go for the engineers. And as a support, the infantry guns are really a nice touch. They are not, well, directly subordinate to the 3rd battalion. No, the 2nd battalion. This is the 2nd battalion. However, they could be very useful. So let's actually take them. 2 light infantry guns. Yeah, let's do that. And look at that. Just like that, we have rebuilt this battle group into something that can really hit hard. Do I want to give them something else? I could give them this reconnaissance platoon or assign a forward observer to them. .150mm heavy infantry gun artillery. That's quite the caliber. On the other hand, I could also assign them a spotter for 7.5cm light infantry guns. Those are basically the same guns that I just gave them, so I'm not quite inclined. How many men does this battle group have now? 110 men. Do I assign the reconnaissance to them to bolster their numbers a bit more? That would give them an additional 27 men. 2 squads of recon, no, 3 squads of recon, excuse me. and the commander. It's an idea, but I think I'm going with the forward observer to really give them something that can hit hard, and I'm going for the 150mm. There we go. That's gonna give them a little bit of a punch, quite a bit of punch actually. Number of guns too. They are 1.8 kilometers away from the front lines, which is absolutely nothing. So that was that. This unit is scheduled to attack. Oh, didn't, no. There we go. This unit is scheduled to attack here. The SS unit I've left in place here, the one that was reformed, but I have reinforced them with an armored car platoon, so they are getting 2 armored car and 2 infantry squads that go with them. Those armored cars, I hope to get them into a good supporting position maybe, so that they can provide fire support on this whole area. I will have to be careful considering that there are anti-tank guns up here, but if I can keep the armored cars out of trouble, they can be quite the asset. Down here in the south, I've reinforced the 11th company with anti-tank guns. Those are only 3.7 centimeter anti-tank guns, so basically completely and absolutely useless against the KV tanks. However, we have seen down here quite a big number of BT tanks, and those can be hurt by these guns. And armored cars, those especially can be hurt by these guns, so I think it's a good idea to get them these guns. I'm digging into my reserves here, but I feel like I have to use those reserves now, or risk lots of casualties. And I'll rather use the reserves, to be honest, because preserving my force strength is one of my main objectives. Alright, let's go ahead and we will now finish the turn together, see what happens. Let's see what the enemy has in store for us. Anything else I want to do before I click that? Oh yeah, down here there's another attack scheduled to go over here in order to, well, not really to smash the enemy units here and to capture ground, more to weaken them, to relieve the pressure that is down here on these units. So I have 2 attacks planned. Let's see what the enemy has planned. Let's go and end this turn. Oh, there are the tanks. Oh no, this is not good. Ah, shit. What's happening here is they are attacking me. And as you can see by the battlefield layout, I have barely any forces available to me. And what's especially hurtful, I don't have my anti-tank guns available. I was hoping that with my attack up here... oh well. Okay, so this is the first battle that we are going to play. It looks like the enemy is also attacking here, and once again in the south, with more fresh units, oh my god. Okay, this could be quite impossible to hold down here. It really depends. Will we play the battle here in the center first? Or will this one down here in the south be fought first? But before we can think a lot about that, we have to fight this fight up here. I don't know if there are more enemy units behind these ones that are now also drawn into the fight. I suspect there are. And I suspect that I'm going to lose this battle, that I won't be able to hold this. Because the 6th company is not in a good state. Right, let's go ahead and see what happens. I have such a bad feeling about this battle, because I expect the enemy to be... to attack me with overwhelming force, basically. That the enemy attack is expected to come from that direction, through or just bypassing Tubchin, and then trying to go for the northern side of the hill here. Now my plan is as follows, and this is a risky plan, but maybe it will work, possibly it won't, but I'll try. So, my plan is to use the 6th Company on the left flank to cover the open ground in between our positions and the village, and to support an attack on the village by the SS Company that is standing by here. The SS Company will, supported by their armored cars, by the 6th Company on their left flank, by a machine gun platoon on top of the hill, they will push into the village and secure that village. The 5th Company, they are tasked with holding the hill. That's basically their goal. They are there to make sure that I do not lose control of the hill, because that would be disastrous. So what will probably happen? The enemy is going to attack, and I'm going to counterattack with the SS. Let's go. It is nightfall, the sun is setting, so it's getting a bit dark. But this is the time of day when flares are starting to be used, and oh crap, that's quite a few flares going up, even there in the distance. We'll have to see how this works out for me. By the way, what are you? You are a machine gun. Why the hell are you all the way back there? Is that where I wanted you? Yeah, that's fine actually. I do have some artillery fire missions coming in on the village just to zero in. And I'm waiting now with all my men ordered to hold fire at the start of the battle. Oh, enemy artillery is shelling the top of the hill. Those are my trucks moving that you can hear. That's fine. I just ordered them a little further back. So it's good that I did not position anything on top of the hill, because that is being shelled right now. And wait a moment. I just want to show you this. We have enemies approaching our position. Since the visibility is so bad, this is basically the game telling me that my men can see or hear something moving out here. Most likely just hear. They can't see them yet. But we are about to see them, and they are about to be very sorry. Let me have a look. Who do I want to task with opening fire? Let's take this lovely bunch of guys here. And let's wait a little moment. Just a little moment. Ah yeah, give him hell. Light him up. Oh, nice of you to stand in a clump like that. That's making things easier. The enemy got a few shots off, but nothing major. We do have more enemies behind them that have now been illuminated by the enemy flare, which is very nice of them. Yeah, this will be a fight in a lot of darkness. Okay, you guys, I want you. You belong to that unit, you belong to that unit. I want you guys back in the tree line. You are too exposed for my taste. And this unit, I want them here. Oh, many more enemies appearing. You two are free to open up. My machine guns will take care of this. My only hope for this battle is that the enemy has been weakened sufficiently by the previous battles. Still my trucks. That they have been weakened so much that they are not going to be a serious problem any longer. But it looks like I do have a platoon of infantry at the very least attacking across the open ground here. Which is a bad idea for them. My mortars have finished their zero-in fire missions, so at the positions where the mortars were zeroed in, artillery strikes can be called in faster. But even out here, we have a mortar strike that could be called in at a relatively short notice. 2.5 minutes, that's alright. That really is alright. The dispersion isn't too bad. Give me 5 per gun. Let's go. Just to stop the initial enemy push here. And then I might follow up with flares to illuminate the area and give my man an opportunity to shoot at the final targets. Okay, it looks like the enemy is starting to shell the oil rig area with incendiary of all things. I hope that one of those shells doesn't land in one of these trenches. Otherwise the units in that trench are dead. But if the enemy wants to spend artillery somewhere out in the open where nothing's really stationed, then that's fine by me. So here's what I'll do now. I will take 1 unit of the SS and I'll send them forwards to scout here. Let's see, let's send them here. They will move covertly. They're not going to move fast. They're just going to move single file. Yes, move to there. And let's go. That's quite a lot of enemies. I do need that mortar strike rather sooner than later, to be honest. But the enemy is stuck in the open, they are not getting through. That's the job of the 6th Company, to hold the enemy out there in the open, and so far they are doing exactly that. I'm not sure if the enemy has any guns positioned so that they can see the open ground. That is why I am not moving forward my armored cars. Oh! Stop that scouting mission. We have contact ahead. We have some kind of officer coming towards us. He most likely isn't alone. Yeah, more units are starting to be seen. This could be the enemy's main effort. I don't have any movement on the hillside. Trucks, please don't drive any longer. That noise is freaking me out. If the enemy has any tanks, then I'm in big trouble. Did I order you guys to open up? I don't remember doing that, so please do hold your fire. I know you're all very eager to do something, but you know, it's better to ambush the enemy if possible. There, my mortars are starting to fire. They are landing right now. That will cause the enemy a lot of problems. Okay. Give me... back there. Give me illumination. Drop some flares, 3 per gun. Just so that I can see what's coming towards me. And now we are starting to see more enemies over here. Whoever is not allowed to fire can now start to do so. And I will soon have to order the SS into the battle. Before I do that, I would like to get their machine guns in a position on the ridge line up here. So here I already have a machine gun. Where's that? That's actually in a decent enough position. It can stay there. It should be able to support a bit. The second one I need to bring a little further forward. Go there. And where are the other 2? Back here. I want you guys. I might want you guys up here. Go there. And then go there. And your colleague, same thing, just over here. And with you guys in position, well, actually they can then go up here. With them in position, the SS will have some nice support to push into this. The enemy units that were coming down the road are maybe trying to help on my left flank here, trying to advance into that. So far, no enemy tanks or vehicles. But more and more units out in the open. Yeah, I need those machine guns. Get those machine guns ready. Your leader, I want him here. And where are you? You are all the way back there. I want you closer to your man. Come to this little hut. The SS is still hidden, still undiscovered, as far as I can tell. Which is exactly what I want. I want them to be a very unpleasant surprise for the enemy. I do have some enemies taking shots at somebody. No, they did spot some units. Okay. Might have to give the guys that are in the trenches here on the right permission to fire. You open up. Yeah, more machine guns. Okay, mortar. You are preparing the flare. The flare drop. After the flare drop, I will probably order another strike over here where the enemies are pouring out of the village. Like so. High explosive. 5 per gun. Cue that. Contact. Oh crap! So this is a potential little issue. That is a column of enemies. And they are partially hidden from view. And they just advanced into my units that are entrenched here. So what do we say to that? We say to that, not today. Not today, you don't. I will order... Let's see. Let's first order you into the action. I think... Are you one of the SS machine guns? Yes, you are. You should be currently on the move, or are you the one that I left there? Okay. No, you're good there. You are actually very good there. So let me have a look. That is one of the SS machine guns. It is also in a position where I wanted it to be. And that is a decent enough position. So I have quite a lot of firepower that I can bring. Haha. You know what? That's a whole enemy platoon walking into my lines there. So I'm not playing around here. I am gonna order everyone in this area to give him hell. If you would, please. Give him hell. They have sighted this machine gun and taken out the gunner. However, they are now in a world of hurt. And more enemies are coming up behind them. Yeah, the machine guns are now ripping them to pieces. This is great. They're seeking shelter in between these things here, but it's not working. It really isn't working out well for them. Night battles in this game can be really, really dark, but they are also so goddamn incredibly cool because of the tracers. Tracer fire is awesome. It looks like one of my 5cm mortars is getting involved. It's shelling the enemy column. Which is just excellent, I love it. And down here, look at this, isn't this a lovely sight? Look at the firefight. This is awesome. You can't deny that this is really, really awesome. I had the impression that I saw some kind of flashback there.
Did I see a flash? Enemy guns, enemy mortars, anything along those lines? No, not at the moment. Let's have a look at the situation. Situation normal so far. We are decimating the enemies that have been advancing on us over here. They are getting wrecked. Very few survivors will be had there. I think it is now time. Those are, by the way, my flares dropping and illuminating the battlefield. No place to hide in that light over there. My men can just pick them off. Yeah, that assault across the open ground has failed once again. You would think the Soviets would finally learn, but no. They are launching red flares now, sign for retreat. It might now be the time to send the SS into the village. For that though, I need my mortars, and they are still busy with the flares and with the shelling. Is the shelling even still necessary? Let me have a look. I ordered the shelling here. I might cancel that. I'm cancelling that, yeah. I could order... shells being dropped back here. They will be arriving very fast and they are sure to do a lot of damage. And yes, there is an enemy gun back there on the road. Did you see that? Let's order this mortar strike here. Let's start with that. And then let's see if I can get the mortars onto the place where I saw that enemy. There. Multiple guns actually. They are shooting up towards the hill and I have nothing to counteract them. I could try to get my... oh my god, that's a lot of enemies back there. I could try to get my observer a little bit further forwards. Let me check something. He cannot see that area back there. If I get him a little bit further forward, he might be able to spot it. But it's also dangerous, so take that as you will. I know that the enemy has guns back there, so that means that probably this area in front of the village cannot be covered by those guns. Which would mean that I can send the SS through. I'm still waiting a little moment for the machine guns to get into position. They are there. Machine guns free to open up. Up here on the hill, the enemy has been... They have just been mowed down. The enemy is already offering up a ceasefire. Okay, mortar strike that I called over there is landing. I am now calling in another strike on the village. And then I am gonna start to move my men. Give me a strike like this, just the edge of the village. Then I'm gonna follow up with flares on the village. Maybe, if the observer can get into position, a mortar strike on the enemy guns could be very beneficial. The observer here, you are not allowed to open fire on anybody. I don't want to lose you because of something like that. I should tell the man on the right flank here now to start conserving ammunition. You guys, conserve ammo. Only shoot enemies that you can actually reasonably hit. Here on the left, keep going. This squad is gone. The enemy pressure on the left flank seems to be too high. Should shift somebody over. Let's see who can take up that fight. Okay, I'm pulling these guys back. And you are then going to go over here. And then you are going to go into defense here. Shift around. Mortar strike on the village is already being called in. Excellent. And the observer is almost where I want him to be. Careful not to skyline. But very soon he will be in a place where he can actually see the enemy guns. And then maybe I can get a good mortar strike onto them. Get rid of them. This mortar strike is starting to fall. That should suppress the enemies a bit. Let's move. Okay, the SS units. First of all, let me bring the armored cars into the action. Armored car, you will attack towards this position. You are going to attack towards this position. You are the fire support. Free to open up both of you. Mortar strike is now hitting the village really hard. That's excellent. The armored vehicles are starting to make movements. Although this one is hesitating a bit. You're not stuck, are you? Should be. No, there you go. They're starting to move out. This one still hasn't received the order to open fire, so let's repeat that. And now I will start to move up the infantry. The first platoon is not gonna lead the way. Actually, the infantry attached to the armored cars is going to lead the way. You will move covertly. No, I want you to attack in a line. Actually, without a real formation, but I want you to move covertly. And I want you to move up there. And your sister unit will do the same thing. You will now start to move out. Meanwhile, the armored cars are starting to move. They are searching for targets. Visibility from inside a vehicle is, of course, a very difficult thing, a difficult topic. There's an enemy machine gun opening up in the distance. I would love some 20mm shells going its way. But the armored car seems to be in a spot where I can't really see much. Can't blame it. I need to drop flares really. But first of all I need to see if my observer... Oh wow, this armored car is advancing. Stop that, I didn't want you that far up. Not at all. Did I give the wrong units? Oh no, you are going. You are also going. Okay, do support that armored car, please. I don't want to lose that thing just because it's starting... It thinks it can be too brave for its own good. Okay, now let's see, what can we do here about those enemy guns? A gun was over here and another one over there, and it seems as if my observer can't see that place yet. Why though? You should be able to see it. Let's have a look. He might be just shy of being in a good position. Stop hiding, stand up. Maybe it will then be a bit better. Maybe if I bring you to here, you might be in a good position. Go there. Come on, get a move on. I want those enemy guns gone. There you go. Starting to move now. Now let's see. Here we have one of the enemy guns. It might also just be too far away. Jeez. The gun is trying to fire at one of the machine guns. Yeah, this might simply be too far away for a good spotting. There, I think that's the reason. Oh, maybe not. No, I think it's just a little bit too far away to get a good position. If I move the observer up a little bit, it could be just what I need. Let's see, what if I move you to here? Go here. You are far forward, I'm risking a lot here, but it might just be what I need. Meanwhile, did the infantry advance? They are finally moving and advancing. They will be free to open fire, of course, just in case that they run into somebody. But it looks to me like the enemies have retreated from here. Mostly. It might now... When this infantry is in position and they tell me that these woods here are clear, then I can start to bring men forward. I should maybe try to get one of the armored cars into a better position to support. I also might want to drop some more flares on the village. Let's do that while we wait for the observer to get into a better position here. Let's stretch this out as much as we can. Flares, 3 per gun, call it. Just so that I know what awaits me here. We have possible enemy movement on the backside of the hill. Mr. Artillery Observer is moving into position. Let's see if it's better now. Oops. Is it getting better? Let's have a look. No, still really bad. But it's not far off. Just a few more meters. I should start to conserve ammunition here. You guys, start conserving ammunition. Oh, look at this. This armored car is starting to engage somebody. When this thing fires its 20mm cannon, that's just awesome. Searching for targets. Look at the machine gun round zipping down from the hill. I really do hope that YouTube doesn't just completely butcher the quality of this because of the darkness that's approaching. I really hope so. But you never know with YouTube. Let's see what's going on. What do we see? Plenty of enemy units. Okay. Artillery observer. Come on, give me good news. The flares will now start to drop over at the village. There we go, that's good. That's good enough. Give me a small little... God damn it. Small little spread? Why is the spread now so huge? I just had it. Come on. Did he... Maybe he is lying down right now, which would explain that. Let's see... Yeah, he is. He is... He found himself a position low in the ground so that he definitely can't see what's up there. And which idiot... Oh, it's you. I was about to say, which idiot decided to throw up flares? It's that idiot. Okay, there are so many enemy units all around that village. How many high explosive shells do you have remaining? The answer is plenty. Let's drop some there. High explosive, 5 per gun. Go for it. There is an enemy. Yeah, more enemies are coming over the hill. Not good. Not good, but they are getting the mortar treatment. Bad idea. 5cm mortars are very fast firing. Or are those... Did you set up the mortar? They set up the mortar on the windowsill of this house and they are just letting it rain on these enemies. Okay, I need to bring this observer a little further forward, I think. Just a little bit. But I'm exposing him so much. It's very dangerous what I'm doing here. But I need him forward just and he just needs to get a solution on these guns. This 5cm mortar is absolutely wrecking that squad over there. That's insane. Okay, the observer is now crawling forward out of its hole. Maybe I'll stop him right here. Maybe this is enough. Let's have a look. Enemy guns were stationed all the way back here. Nope. 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 Still not quite. Oh, come on, you should be able to see this area. Oh, you are looking the wrong way, are you? Look this way, please, for a moment, so that I can determine what's the situation like. What can you see and what can't you see? Stop moving for a moment. You should be able to get eyes on this. But no. Well, it's very difficult still for him. There are areas where he can see and areas where he can't. It's not a good coverage that he has here. Definitely not. Let me see, how is his position now? He's exposed very much. Okay, standing up. That might help. That might just do it. Getting a little bit of no. The second gun, I can forget about that one completely. Oh, look at this. Just in front of the guns? Sure. At the gun? No. Might just have to disregard this for the moment and maybe later try this again. Okay. The SS unit. The attack has to commence finally. I should bring in more fire support on the village. Let me have a look. I want the first row of houses to be put under fire. High explosive, 5 per gun, call it, and let's get this party started. I've been waiting long enough. First platoon. You guys are all free to fire. You will not hide any longer. And I want you to move in towards the village. And I want you to move how? I want you to actually move in a column, 2 lines. Keep a good spacing in between yourself. No, actually, don't do it like this. Let's use the attack modifier just so. 2 lines, 3 lines even. Keep a good spacing. Move covertly if possible. And get over there. That's where I want you. Your leader, he will go here. Second platoon. Is gonna do the same thing. Also, get over here. Wait, no, they are over there. Okay, no. I thought I had them here with the others, but I don't. So you guys, once the first platoon is in a better position, you will attack across the field, covered by the armored cars. I have to be careful with the armored cars. You might ask yourself, why am I not making more use of them? Well, the reason is that these things are of course just lightly armored. So if the enemies have anti-tank rifles, those are definitely sufficient to punch holes into these vehicles. And I don't want that. This vehicle here is covering the road, which is good. And I have a mortar strike landing on the village, doing damage, pinning the enemies. Perfect. You are so exposed, I really don't like this. Look that way for a moment. Let me try this again. There we go, I'm taking this. Doesn't matter if it doesn't hit precisely onto the gun, it will be close enough. High explosive, 5 per gun, sounds reasonable, just give him hell. Can I get the same treatment? No. For the second gun, unfortunately, I just hit a lucky spot here. Wow. Can't hit it again. Yeah, 1 centimeter can sometimes be a big difference. But if I can take out even one of these 2 guns, it will be very important.
And we once again find ourselves looking at the village of Tubchin in anticipation of a large-scale attack. Will we succeed in taking the village this time? Find out when we continue this battle next week. For now, I want to thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed this battle and that it wasn't too dark, that YouTube didn't completely butcher the quality. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.